Good morning. It is Tuesday. Today we're talking about Ford Blue's margins rising, as well as a brand new Charger collaboration, and Foot Locker sales, well, aren't smelling so good.
People really want to know who I am.
I get little sound effects for the morning intro for you.
Yeah.
Didn't have the trigger pads, but you know.
don't need the trigger pads. We got the Kyle pads. Oh, man. It is a beautiful Sunday, Tuesday in Syracuse. The mornings that I love so much, where I know it's going to get like almost to 80 today, but it's like 55 and sunny and crisp in the morning. I got to put on a little sweatshirt.
Yes,
beautiful thing.
That's exactly what it's basically like 5 degrees warmer in Nashville, which is pretty wild to me. Sometimes I think about that. I'm like, how does Syracuse get this warm? But you know, it does. So
hey,
we stay mild for a little bit. We're having a spring. We're having a little bit of spring.
Well, that's
Nashville's
good.
Treating us.
That's good.
Spring,
what's humidity like this time of year?
All of it.
Yeah, see, that's the difference. When you're like sweating at 70 degrees when it's humid out. It's intense.
No,
it's like it's probably like
my kids are like having
humidity.
the end of the year field days, and my son comes home like he had run a marathon yesterday, and I'm like, oh, bro, we gotta go.
Can you imagine what that classroom smells like?
Oh, can you imagine? No, it's poor teachers.
Oh man. Well, hey, we are super excited. We are coming in hot to tomorrow's live stream premiere release of More Than Cars. It's the network style show that we filmed the pilot episode. And we also are doing a crowdfund to get the rest of the season made. Everyone, not everyone, but so many people in automotive are constantly telling us somebody needs to make something. We need to let the rest of the world know what's going on in automotive. There's so many great people and so many great stories. We don't deserve the stigma in the way that we have it. So we said, we're going to make a show. We're making a show. And we need to get the industry to band together to help us finish making the rest of it. So we're going to be launching this crowdfund that has all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, get your name in the credits and swag bombs. And if, you know, like if you're an industry partner, there's opportunities for you to get up in front of everybody. And we even have a few for some from choice dealers, bringing the episode to your store. So much stuff coming up. Let's go. First and foremost.
Oh, I cannot wait to see it, to share it. Yeah. You got to make the live stream. You got to see it first. You got to know what we're doing, what's happening. And like the way that other people have responded, I think that like if you see it, you'll most likely respond in a similar way. It's just
everyone we've texted it to
makes you laugh. It'll make you clap to yourself. You know, it's just that's the feels. It's the feels.
It is. So that's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can go to morethancars.tv, morethancars.tv. Get right to the LinkedIn live event so you can be part of that big release party and you can watch it live there, or you can also watch it on YouTube. Regardless, we need the industry to show up on the stream tomorrow to celebrate the thing that we all have built together, right? We're not celebrating the show. We're celebrating what we do every day, every dealer, every fixed ops person, every salesperson, every industry partner, all of us, every detailer. We got some. Everybody, we're celebrating it all.
Give them some preach on the Tuesday morning. Paul. Give them some preach. Let's go.
Look, we're not full of it, man. When we say dealers need to band together, when we say we need to push back against the narrative, when we say you need to love people more than you love cars, like we aren't just saying it. And the people that we aren't just saying it isn't because we're just saying it. It's because we're
putting our time, our travel, our energy, our thoughts, our intention around it because we know it to be true and it needs to get out there. Our money, everything. Literally, like our families riding on the back of that truth. Let's go.
Okay. I guess
we got to talk about some news.
Speaking of the truth.
Stop. Segue.
All right. Ford expects its internal combustion engine volume and profits to continue to grow until 2025. At Ford Capital Markets Day 2023, which is just yesterday, executives outlined their projections for Ford Blue, which is the company's gasoline-powered segment. According to Kumar Galhotra, head of Ford Blue, profit margins from their ICE vehicles will grow from 7.2% today to at least 10% by the year 2026. So they are on the rise, and they're saying these profit margin increases are mainly attributed to a reduction in complexity. That means fewer parts. They have successfully released parts per vehicle over the past 2 years. Check this out. The Ford F-150, the upcoming model, has 2,400 fewer parts compared to the previous version.
Go, that's unbelievable. Like the efficiency gained in that alone is incredible. Wow.
No, just think supply chain. So this is another staggering. So the total orderable combinations on the Ford Explorer have been reduced from, hold on to your seat, there were 1,900 potential configurations of a Ford Explorer. And they brought that
1,900. So dumb.
No one knows.
Consumers were confused.
Like, this is hard, right? It's hard to order an Explorer. And now there are only 23.
But I don't want the, yeah.
There's
23.
only 23 now.
They went Jordan on them, you know?
Yeah, went with the greatness. And also the Expedition dropped from 800 configurations down to 32. CEO Jim Farley said Monday his leadership team now meets once a month. He did say it's on a Tuesday to focus on material and supply cost-cutting opportunities. And he said this, I'm starting to see an excitement around waste elimination. It's not task assigned. So it's no longer like, hey, you have to reduce waste. Now it's like everyone's like, hey, look. I just cut out 1,900 configurations.
22 configurations.
Yeah, right.
The sunroof. No.
So this is a cool. I think this is a really cool story of just leadership and company development on a pivot. You know, like they're saying, hey, we know EVs are running at a loss right now. They are projected to be at a profit, but they're like, what can we do with what we have to provide for the future innovation that the company needs? So I love the culture side of it too.
Well, yeah, and it's shifting expenses and profit margins so that they can continue to build the startup brand of the EVs. This is an intelligent way for any business to operate, to look at waste and here's it. Forget waste. The complexity of 1,900 options of build type in an Explorer for a family that's shopping and trying to do all that on their mobile phone and figure out what to buy or not is unbelievable. So if you think, like, they probably haven't even factored in what the shopping journey now looks like and how the ease of buying may actually accelerate margins.
It will accelerate.
Because
it's not even may.
Yeah.
Just every bit of retail conventional wisdom tells us that the more complex, the more options, the more people move away from the product, right?
Yep.
That's why good, better, best works. That's why do you want the red one or the blue one works.
Yep.
And think of the web dev team. The web dev team is like, they're like, thank goodness. Because everybody's like, how do you make 1,900 options work? Like
conditional formatting on the if-then statements there is so much reduced. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So just like, and you think about that just at any business, just understanding how to reduce complexity, streamline stuff, make it easier to do people's jobs, reduce expenses, increase net profitability. Those are things that I think we all, from a leadership perspective, should be looking at. It's an encouragement to me. It's like, hey, what waste do we have in the tech stack, or what waste do we have in our general output? How can we streamline and focus on the things that need to be focused on? Speaking of things that need to be focused on.
Stop. Segue.
Time. Very good segue.
It was released recently. Check this out. I'm gonna run this because you got the last one, because that's all you, because it's about shoes.
Okay. Good.
A newly formed EV industry consortium has been announced. It is called ChargeX and is led actually by the Department of Energy. It aims to enhance the reliability and usability of public EV charging infrastructure in the U.S. by, get this, June 2025. It includes over 30 companies, including Tesla, Electrify America, and ChargePoint, as well as many OEMs. The consortium will work together to define charging experience, address charging reliability and usability issues, and develop solutions for scaling reliability. So they're tackling a few different issues with this ChargeX program. Basically, they want to make sure that consumers get a great charging experience. They have great reliability and usability, so it's easy to use, and they always have uptime. And then they want to make sure that there are systems for scaling, right? So how do we get all of these EV chargers into a network across the country so that we don't have issues of range anxiety or anything like that? we've talked about many times before, these kind of like standardizations or group projects around new initiatives. One of the earliest ones was Bluetooth. We've got API standards out there. There are, and so it's just like the standardization for scalability and user decomplexity is not something that's brand new, but it is really, really new because a lot of these players haven't been excited about kind of like integrating their platforms to this point.
All right, I have a few things. Number one,
tell me.
Did you see the part where it's run by the government? The government's in charge. Did you see that part?
You know what, Paul? I was trying not to go there.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Secondly,
okay.
Something was when I read the name, something reminded me of something else. ChargeX. Like, this is somebody was like, oh, Elon's going to be there. Let's name it ChargeX. Yeah. Let's name it ChargeX.
Maybe he'll come.
And what does it look like when you have Tesla in the room and it's like, okay, well, how are you not like, well, what do you guys think? Like, what do you guys think?
I was just looking like, well, you guys got 50 people in the room. What do you want to do?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, look, I love the idea. And I say this is partially joking, partially serious though. Let's see if some real tech innovation collaboration can happen inside a government program, because there really is the greater good being focused on. How can we get standards that the innovators are now a part of setting the tone for? Right. Because typically a lot of times, like, there'll be some advisory, but then like a new thing will be raised out. But it sounds like from the name that there's already a bit of a nod to the fact that Tesla's figured a few things out with all of their experience. And, things like making sure there's just a solid handshake when you get there, right? That you're ready to like charge when the vehicle shows up, that you're able to pay easily. That's obviously a big consideration of people figuring, which app do I use? Where's the stand? How do I pay for this? And one of the other things they talked about in the article is really unifying the charge points on every mapping system so that it's very clear where the nearest charge point is. That way, I rented a Tesla at one point. I was like, I gotta see what this is about. And the fact that the car actually has to warm up for a charge was something I didn't realize. But when you're driving and you get near a charger, the car goes in the mode. It makes this really high pitch. I have kind of sensitive ears. So I was like, why is the car like whining right now? Yeah, it was really weird. But even so, very practical problems, very smart people in the room, a very tech savvy forward name. How could it possibly fail?
How could it fail? It kind of has to work at this point, because if it doesn't, then we're not going to create the efficiencies necessary to be the charging infrastructure that the government has kind of forced down from an EV efficiency by 2030.
I thought you were going to say our throats.
Well, you think about, I mean, the map thing, I think is the key piece here, because, if you like hit Google, or your Apple Maps or anything like that, like one of the little icons is like gas stations, right? It's just like an easy click. And so I think like just from a Waze or Google or Apple, it just has to be like charging stations, right? That's going to be necessary.
Yep. Especially like being able to filter those quickly by like level 3s, level 2s, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
Speaking of
compatibility,
I'm trying to get a good segue.
None of
here.
that.
It's just not going. None of that. Speaking of none of that. All right. Foot Locker sales have plummeted by 27% as the retailer adjusted their 2023 guidance due to a surprising decline in sneaker sales. And they cited external factors like inflation and a shift toward discretionary spending only are key contributors to the downturn. So they had basically stronger than expected holiday sales. So they're like, hey, things are looking great. Holiday sales are up. Stock price is up. I think the stock price dropped by like 30% yesterday. 27% actually. So holiday spending was way up. So they're like, hey, feeling good. Consumers are confident. However, there was a very major shift in Q1, and discretionary spending shifting towards services instead of items just happened super fast. Also, tax returns are at on average 10% lower than they were last year, and so
that's a really interesting sub fact that should tie to like a lot of things that we talk
everything.
about. The fact that there's 10% less cash going into bank accounts this month.
That's government cash, right? And that
yep.
and tax income, like tax return cash, is always like, this is the money we're going to just spend on the thing that we didn't want to spend on, right? Like that money is the fastest spent. So basically they're saying we have to react to this. They're going to increase their promotional activities throughout the year. And they did say they're going to target the active athlete. If you know anything about Nike and Nike brand, Nike's basically says, you know, Nikes are for athletes. And if you have a body, you are an athlete, right? So they were like, everyone can wear a Nike. Foot Locker's like, we're going to target active athletes because again, the discretionary lifestyle purchases of sneakers in their stores, at least, are going down. Here's the kicker.
No, here's the kicker. I want the kicker. Hold on. I want the kicker because I read the full article. I don't know if you read this part, but it said, thanks to Beaver Toyota of Cumming, Brooke Furness, and Paul J. Daly, Nike online sneaker sales were up in Q1. If you know any of those people, including Paul, look. Yeah, there it is. He's already contributing to Q2.
I got some there.
Nike sales, I bought those online. Online sales have been up. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, Nike has an audience, a targeted audience, a specific audience. They care for that audience well in a life cycle marketing and
great online experience.
An incredible, and even like they have their own kind of like StockX feel, right? Where they have like premiere or preview type sneakers. Like they create a brand around buying, right? And
one of the comments,
I think,
one of the comments in this Retail Wire article, I love the comment section of their article specifically, and the person was like, well, I don't know, for whatever it's worth, my 20-year-old sneaker fanatic, Nike loving son has never stepped foot in a Foot Locker.
That's right.
So I don't know. That is what it is. Hey, without a doubt, things are shifting, which means opportunity for everyone who's paying attention. Tomorrow, you have an opportunity to join us on the live stream, please, of the premiere episode of More Than Cars.tv.